As you watch this video, please keep in mind two crucial empirical facts. 1. The long-established findings of embryology and the powerful visual aid of ultrasounds confirm the incontrovertible scientific fact that the life of a new human being begins the instant a male sperm fuses with a female egg to form a single-celled zygote. This event is known as fertilization. 2. A successful abortion, whether surgical or chemical, always results in the violent death of at least one human being, a preborn baby. Remember this whenever someone says that an abortion merely terminates a pregnancy, such as the misleading disclaimer YouTube is currently displaying directly beneath this video.
We have also stood up to protect the culture of life by enacting the strongest pro-life protections in the modern history of Florida, the Heartbeat Protection Act.
I'm not going to say I would or I wouldn't. I mean, DeSantis is willing to sign a 5-week and 6-week ban.
Would you support that? You think that
I
goes
think what
too
he
far?
did is a terrible thing and a terrible mistake.
A terrible thing and a terrible mistake. A terrible thing and a terrible mistake.
I'm just doing what's right. Look, Planned Parenthood has done very good work for millions of women. And I'll say it, and I know a lot of the so-called conservatives, they say that's really, because I'm a conservative, but I'm a common sense conservative.
I'm a conservative, but I'm a common sense conservative.
But millions of women have been helped by Planned Parenthood. But we're not going to allow and we're not going to fund as long as you have the abortion going on at Planned Parenthood. And we understand that, and I've said it loud and clear.
But we're not going to allow and we're not going to fund as long as you have the abortion going on at Planned Parenthood. But millions of women have been helped by Planned Parenthood. But we're not going to allow and we're not going to fund as long as you have the abortion going on at Planned Parenthood. And we understand that, and I've said it loud and clear.
I want to know what you're going to do if you're
We
reelected.
are going to
Would
come
you sign
together.
federal legislation that would ban abortion at 15 weeks?
No, let me just tell you what I do. I'm going to come together with all groups, and we're going to have something that's acceptable.
Something that's acceptable. Something that's acceptable.
I think they're all going to like me. I think both sides are going to like me.
Both sides are going to like me. I think they're all going to like me. I think both sides are going to like me.
What's going to happen is you're going to come up with a number of weeks or months. You're going to come up with a number that's going to make people happy.
That's going to make people happy. That's going to make people happy.
I speak to a lot of Democrats. They want a number. There is a number, and there's a number that's going to be agreed to. Something will happen with the number of weeks, the amount of time, after which you can't do it. And you know what? The most powerful people that are anti-abortion are okay with that now. And you know what? They weren't okay with that even a year ago.
Just in tonight, we're learning Governor DeSantis has signed a bill that puts tougher restrictions on abortions here in Florida. The law requires girls under 18 to have a parent's approval before getting an abortion. The previous law only required minors to inform a parent or legal guardian of their decision.
There you go. This will represent the most significant protections for life that have been enacted in this state in a generation.
Just this afternoon, the state legislature passed a 6-week abortion ban. The bill, when signed, which Governor Ron DeSantis has already signaled he will do, will make abortion access even more difficult in the Sunshine State, which right now outlaws abortion after 15 weeks.
Let me go through what this bill actually does. As you said, it bans abortion in most cases after 6 weeks. There are exceptions for rape, incest, and for victims of human trafficking up until week 15. But after week 15, the only exceptions are for if the life of the mother's at risk or if there's a fatal defect, and even then, you have to get 2 doctors to sign off on it. It also prohibits abortion by telehealth and via mail, so you can't get medication sent to you by the Postal Service in Florida. And then it also requires the state Supreme Court to take action or a change in the Constitution before this takes effect. There's a quirk in Florida's Constitution that includes a privacy clause, and in the past, the state Supreme Court has interpreted that to include a right to abortion. But that Supreme Court has shifted dramatically in recent years, and now DeSantis has actually appointed 4 of the 6 members, and he'll get to appoint another one soon. So Jake, abortion rights advocates believe that this Supreme Court is likely to overturn that privacy clause, and really at that point it'll be a 6-week ban in the state.
Governor Ron DeSantis has signed the Heartbeat Protection Act into law. Now, I want to give you a picture of the signing ceremony. This was released by the governor's office. The Republican majority Florida House of Representatives approved the ban on abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy. About the time a heartbeat can be detected, that is, but opponents of the legislation do argue that 6 weeks is before many women even know they are pregnant.
A number of your opponents have been really critical of your 6-week abortion ban in Florida. Donald Trump, who's in Iowa today, has called it a terrible mistake. He says that you've gone too far. Can you trust that Donald Trump still has the views with regard to abortion that reflect the base of the GOP party?
Well, when you provide pro-life protections that says when a baby has a heartbeat, that there's protections, that is not something that pro-lifers think is terrible. They think that that is a noble and just thing to do. Of course, there have been many other states that have also done that. He claimed to be pro-life. He spoke at the March for Life and was waxing eloquently about how everybody counts. For him to then attack people like Iowa, South Carolina, Florida, all these other states, I thought was a big mistake. But look, I mean, I think he's taking positions that I think are different from what he took in 2015 when he first came onto the scene. And I do think he's a different candidate today than he was back then. And I think the one back then was probably closer to where Republican voters want to be than the latest iteration.
You said he claimed to be pro-life. Do you think he is pro-life?
Well, you tell me. I think that if you have something where you have a baby that has a detectable heartbeat, if you're pro-life, you would want to say that there should be protections there. And if he's saying that that's a terrible thing, I know most pro-life voters would think that he's wrong.
He said that he would negotiate a deal and that we would have basically a national law, whatever that deal was. Isn't that what Dobbs said shouldn't be done?
Well, not only that, I mean, what he's basically saying, by saying you're going to make the Democrats happy, understand this is a political party that will not say whether a baby that is one day away from being born should have legal protections. They will not commit to that. You ask every major Democrat, Kamala Harris, Newsom, they hem and haw, they won't say that. So saying that you're going to make them happy, if they're happy, then it's something that's going to be really, really bad. And I think what he was referring to in his mind is, you know, he would set some type of outer limit that the Democrats would have to agree to, but then any protections within that would be wiped away from the states. And so if Iowa has protections for heartbeat, that would be eviscerated in favor of this federal, which would mean you'd be losing more ground than you would be gaining. So that's not something that's going to work. And here's the thing. We had 50 years under the Supreme Court's regime where they imposed, without a text, history, and structure of the Constitution, abortion on demand. That changed the culture in this country. And the pro-life movement's done admirable work to shift the culture in a more pro-life direction. I think technology and science has done that too, because you see, I remember seeing, hearing the heartbeat for my firstborn very early on. I remember seeing the sonogram. Very, very powerful. And so I think that that's helped. But there's more that will need to be done just on the cultural level for sure. And I totally get that. But man, if people are putting points on the board for the cause of life, you know, we should thank them for doing that. Don't denigrate.